So do you know what the difference is between a fitness professional that earns $100,000 a year to the fit pro that earns $1 million a year? Because I guarantee you that the $1 million a year coach is not working 10 times more than the $100,000 a year coach. And in this training session, I want to really go through the difference of how to become $1 million coach by working half the hours. And I am dead serious about this because this is about you working smarter. So if you're already earning over $100,000 a year right now, this training session is really going to be for you, because once you get to that 100K mark, you can't work 10 times more to get the $1 million a year mark. And this is why so many fit pros get stuck, because they're missing two key things. And these are two key things that we're going to go through so you understand by the end of this training session. And that is going to be team and systems in place. And also I'm going to bring on an amazing online fit pro, Josh, that's done incredible things. He's actually coached 15,200 people just in the last couple of years, and he's being able to follow this exact system that we're going through today to have a business that's really running without him doing too much whatsoever at all. Now, this is where I want to make a really big promise to you right now, and that is, how do you have 3 steps in place to go from 100K to $1 million? Because I know that's a big promise, but this is the biggest problem that I fell into. And especially because when I was either a fitness professional, especially when I was a PT in Sydney and in Dubai doing face-to-face training, but when I quit PT in 2014 and I started my online fitness business, this was one of the biggest mistakes that I made that I want you to avoid, because I was stuck literally for years. I was in my home office just absolutely losing my mind trying to figure out how to grow and scale, and I was doing all the wrong things. I want you to avoid that mistake, because this is going to be so much easier. And this is what so many of the fitness pros are doing right now around the world that you can do today as we go through this. And so what I want to be able to do, I first want to go through something that's really important. A mentor showed me this a while ago, and when he did, it blew my mind. So this is going to be able to help you. And what we call this is finding your effective hourly rate. There's 3 quick steps that we need to be able to do here. So this isn't just theory. Let's actually roll up our sleeves and get to work right now. So what I want you to be able to do is I want you to figure out, well, how many hours do you work in a month? Okay, I want you to think about how many hours. So really easily, you could just think about how many hours you work in a week, times that by 4, roughly it's 4.3, and you'll get a number, but times that by 4. So how many hours do you actually work in a month right now? So typically a personal trainer, and especially an online fit pro, is going to be working about 50 hours a week. And now I know when I was a PT, I was working well over that. I was doing about 60 hours of face-to-face, but then there's all the administration, the back end, and then the actual creating programs, nutrition plans, trainings, all that stuff. So it ended up being a number that I didn't really want to count, because I wasn't around to spend time with my wife, with my family, with my friends, or really take care of myself either. But let's just say, for example, in this example, that we're going to be saying, okay, hours worked per month, let's make it, let's call it 200 hours per month that you're going to do. We say 50 hours per week. Now, let's say what your average income is right now. So what is your average income? You put this in so you can have the calculation. Let's just say, for example, that you're earning per month $6,000. Great. So you're working average a month, 200 hours, and you're earning $6,000. Now what we need to do is we need to be able to figure out what is your effective hourly rate right now. So in this example, if we do the quick math, it's going to be $30. Okay, your average effective hourly rate is actually $30. So this isn't just how much you charge for a program. This isn't just how much you charge for a face-to-face session. This is how much you actually earn over the entirety of how much work you do to how much money you actually make. Now, we could do another example with this one. So let's say, for example, we get a little bit smarter with this. And let's say, for example, we're able to cut it down and you're able to do 150 hours of work per month. Amazing. And then let's say, for example, you're able to earn, let's call it $12,000 a month. Okay, so what's the difference then? So if we go 12,000 divided by 150, we now have $80. Okay, so now you can clearly see that this person is earning a lot more per hour from the work that they're doing. Now, this is where it becomes really important for you to understand how this works into the team and system, what needs to happen. Because then we go into, and I want to use actually a real, I'll bring this up for you. I want to use a real case study. So we just had an actual live training session with the coach, and we went through what we call inside of the cartel Operation Clockwork. And when we have a strategy session with a coach, this is one of the key things that we need to be able to do. And so there's one concept I want you to understand straight away, and that is that there are tasks that are $10 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, and $10,000 an hour tasks. Now, when you understand this, this is where you need to start delegating out. So team and systems. So the first thing we need to look at is what team members do you be able to bring on board to make your life so much easier? Now, firstly, don't think of team members as just going to be an expense. They are a profit producing asset inside of your business, especially when done properly. And so let's just look at, for example, the $10 an hour task and what we went down. There we go, these ones. So in this exact example with this coach, the person was running errands, they were managing the direct messages, they were talking to unqualified leads, and they were doing their own social media posting. These are $10 an hour tasks that we can give off to another team member to pay them $10 an hour, or around about $10 an hour, to make sure that those tasks are getting done. Now, in this example, when we go through, the coach was spending about 20 hours per week on just these $10 an hour tasks. So the first thing we know we need to be able to do is actually bring a team member on board, and part-time team member, to make sure that expenses are kept low. But that means coach now has an extra 20 hours per week to work on the $1,000 and $10,000 an hour tasks. Now, really quickly, let me just talk about $10,000 an hour task. This doesn't mean you're going to sit down for an hour of work and $10,000 is just going to appear into your bank account. These are the big leverage strategical things that you need to do inside of your business that equal big results. And so these are things such as improving your USP, your unique selling proposition, improving your messaging to make sure everything that you're doing in your marketing is so much more effective. It's creating better offers. So when you create a better offer, you can have so many more leads, so many more sales, charge more, and have better retention. This is make sure you are able to sell to high value groups, so you increase sales by so much rather than a one-on-one selling acquisition. And so this is where a concept of we start moving along the pathway, so you understand the difference between you spending so much time in $10 an hour tasks to then moving to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 as well. So when you understand from this example that we've just went through in this coach, because we looked at, okay, well, let's just say, for example, your effective hourly rate is $80 an hour. Well, then that's fantastic, because now we know anything under $80 an hour that you're doing, it's a bit of a waste of your time because you're not getting the most bang out of buck for yourself. We can get a team member on board. We can improve your systems to make sure you're not needing to do those things. And so then you can increase across. So that's how we're able to start working smarter. And this is where I want to be able to use the exact example of Josh and bring Josh in right now to show you how this works.
So excited to dive into this because this has been my life over the last 5 or 6 years, trying to put all this stuff together, banging my head against the wall to figure what works and what doesn't. I was actually a physical education school teacher. So I was not a trained business person, no real entrepreneurship experience. I loved those little boys and girls and was teaching them how to play sports every day. So it was fun. Didn't love the income. Definitely didn't love the lifestyle as well. I learned very quickly I'm more of an entrepreneur than employee. So I was like, I've got to be able to take my love for people and the human body and the mind and all that good stuff that I'm sure a lot of you watching this are passionate about as well. And why you are either in coaching or want to get into coaching. I picked the more entrepreneurial path, the PT route. Started very much so like a lot of you, if you're training face-to-face, if gyms are open in your area, had no idea how to market and sell what I do. If you think about a lot of the certifications out there and a lot of like a bachelor's degree or master's degree in university around kinesiology, exercise science, physical education, all that good stuff, no one talks about how to market and sell yourself. It's all of the technical stuff about the human body, which you got to know, but really, how do you communicate? How do you build an offer? How do you sell yourself? How do you make money? No one was talking about it. So I was really disappointed that when I got into the real world of the entrepreneurship thing, I had no idea what to do. So I basically stalked Chris on YouTube. I'll get to the end of the story here. Stalked Chris on YouTube for about 6 months before I pulled the trigger to become a client here. That was 2017, I believe, to be exact. Fast forward now about 4 years, I've coached over 15,200 clients worldwide through online fitness. So long story short, man, I had no business savviness whatsoever. I got some good training and just ultimately a lot of repetitions, whether it was selling through copy, selling through phone, through Zoom, high ticket, low ticket group coaching, subscriptions, everything in between, supplements. And I've just kind of been able to put together what works and what doesn't work. And so I hope today we could give you some value in terms of giving you some simple, practical applications for you so you can do the 3 things that we all want. There is no denying everyone here watching this, including myself and Chris, want more things. Impact, we want to help people, which is why you're here. And that's why sales matters, because it's not really possible to help someone to the fullest capacity without them joining your program. Sales is the bridge between marketing and delivery of coaching. If you want to help people, you have to get good at sales. And if sales is a weird word for you to make you feel slimy and spammy and scammy, just replace the word sales with communication. Would you agree that in order to help people, you have to clearly communicate? Number 2, income. Money matters. Do you want to eat? Do you want to help the people around you? Do you want to raise? Do you want to take care of your kids? Money does matter. Number 3, and then can you do it on your terms? You want to be able to enjoy your lifestyle day to day. Or do you want to, I know, Chris, we were talking about this, or do you want to get to 65, hopefully retire, and then enjoy your life, yet to die 3 years after you retire? And once again, Chris, when you and I come together, it's very practical implementations, things that people can do tomorrow in a situation. So just to make sure as accountability that you do what we just are going to tell you to do, to actually go do. Basil, last week, one of our members sold 5 clients at $1,800 per client, the exact same number, Chris, that you gave in the example, 5 of them last week. He's a great dude, and if he's watching this right now, congrats on upgrading to the higher level program in the Coaches Cartel. Frameworks I used to get him into the higher level program, same ones that we're teaching you right now. So very good stuff. Cal, our boy Cal, 19 years old at the time, launched his coaching program. In 2 days, sold $39K worth of coaching. Love Cal, didn't have a whole lot of business and coaching experience before that happened. Okay, we had Kate Miller, who last week sent me a text message, and she said, Josh, by noon, 12 p.m. on last Friday, she sold 3.1K worth of coaching.
So good.
So I'm just going to keep going, Chris, because wait, there's more. About 2 weeks ago, I had the greatest day of my sales career, right? And I told you 5 years ago where I was at. I sold 101K worth of coaching in 1 day. And what's so exciting about it is I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of what my potential is actually as a communicator and salesperson. But if you would like to kind of go from 0 to selling over 100K worth of coaching in a day, and if you're a meathead like me, that should be reassuring. Back to why you should listen to all of that. Pre-sales call routine. I am so fascinated by the conversation we have with ourselves. Before we can talk about any conversation you're going to have with any other human being, I refuse to talk about any of the strategy in regards to those conversations before we address what goes on in your head and in your body before you get on the call. Because I am interested, Chris, I'm interested in who these people are watching the video, who they are before they pick up the phone, before they flick on Zoom. So a couple things you guys can do to make sure you are showing up as the person you need to be, as the most certain, positive, energetic version of yourself. This is stuff that I've done myself. And we actually just did a coaching session. My weekly sales training this past week was on what do you do pre-call. Number 1, something that helps me. It takes all the pressure off myself, and I used to have a lot of anxiety around sales. One of the things that allowed me to shift my focus from kind of the whole scarcity to abundance thing was thinking about and actually visualizing how I'm going to help that person on the call. And if I have their social media or name or email, I try to look them up. I stalk them a little bit before the call. I envision their face, I envision their body, I envision them talking to me about their problems and pain points and what they need help with, and I envision myself giving them 1 or 2 pieces of advice that helps them have the light bulb moment. And then I think about what they're on the inside of the program, and 3 weeks in when they lose 7 pounds and have lost 3 inches on their waist, and they're telling me, oh my God, Josh, for the first time in my life, I'm sticking to my fitness goals because of what you're teaching me. I put myself in that state as if it's already happened. Not to be too woo-woo, I want to keep this practical, but I put myself in a position to where I am framing myself in a form of service because I'm thinking about them, I'm not thinking about me. Because when I'm thinking a lot about me, I get selfish and I start thinking about, I need to perform on this call. What if they reject me? Dude, if you're thinking all that stuff before a sales call with love, going to call you out. You're being selfish. Stop thinking about yourself. Think about them. So number one, real practical pre-call, envision yourself in service to that person. Number two, a less sexy thing. Read the script. You should have a framework of some sort going into that call. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. I love that cliche. It took me back to my sport days in terms of practicing for the big game. Dude, Chris, I was excited going into the big game because I knew I was prepared for the big game. When you're prepared for the big game, you don't have the butterflies in your stomach. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I don't know. Is this going to go well? What if everyone thinks I'm stupid? Dude, I can't wait to get to the big game because I'm ready because I'm prepared. And I'm ready because I'm prepared. So read the script. Don't just read the words, because the script is usually not actually the secret sauce. You are the secret sauce once again. So don't just read the words. Be very conscious of how you are saying those words. If you can read that script 2 or 3 times before you even get on the call, amazing. Because now it's second nature. Back to my sport analogy, fitness and sports, it's the only way I sometimes make sense of life. So that's why I'm kind of teaching like this. So I hope everyone is connecting with this, Chris. Dude, when you're in the game and you've practiced that same shot a bunch of times, now it's second nature. You're no longer thinking about what's going on. You can just kind of be, and it's more natural. So number one, service. Number two, go through the script. And then number three, another thing that I think is super practical, your psychology will always follow your physiology. So if you are all hunched over, sad, bad posture, what does that symbolize? It's almost like a baby of some sort in the fetal position, just helpless. Like, dude, if you really need to, if you're worried about self-expression, do this before your social media content as well, before you flick on the video. Who are you before you start shooting the content? This is what I do. This builds the most important muscle in your body, and it's not the one you think. This is called the not give a F muscle. I'll do this before a sales call. I did it on purpose with 10 other coaches that I was teaching this to 3 days ago. They're like, Josh, you're crazy. I was like, dude, I'm feeling good though. I jumped around a little bit. I was like, man, you don't have to go crazy with it and do a full workout. But if you are too inside of your head, get into your body right before the call. They're like, boom. It's like I just did German volume training, 10 sets of 10 on leg press. I feel alive. So Chris, we could even go deeper on that, but those are 3 really great things people can do right away before the call.
So as you can see in this training session, we've covered 2 very important things: the team, the systems, how to go from a $100,000 a year coach to how to get to a $1 million a year coach. And really simply, it all comes back to, once again, we need to make sure, are you following the right strategy? Are you waking up each and every day knowing the few key things that you need to be able to do to make sure that you can grow your business the most as well? And that's why the easiest and fastest way for the next step is for you to book in a strategy session with me and the team. Remember, there is nothing to buy on this call. This call is free. And the reason why is because we need to make sure, can we actually help you first? We can't get you to buy something. There's no website. There is no button that you can just go onto to click buy now to actually get inside of these programs and for us to help you. We need to make sure that you're a right fit so that we can give you the best possible help. But really importantly, so that we can give you the plan, so that we can give you the strategy. And that is why it's really easy for you to click the link below, book in a strategy session so we can go through what is it exactly that you need? What is it that you actually want to achieve? What does success look like to you? And then simply the third thing, what's the best plan that you need to be able to follow? So worst case scenario is you take the plan that we give you and you run with it. Best case scenario is we can help you implement it as well. So click the link below, book in your free strategy session, and we'll be chatting with you real soon.
It's really been unbelievable. The whole experience has been amazing. We love you guys. We are so appreciative and so blessed that we found you. And we're just excited. We're so excited for the things to come.
Honestly, joining the Coaches Cartel has been the best decision I ever made in my career. Hands down. They gave me the right mentorship and information that I was thirsting for.
What was super cool was just getting to know Chris the guy, Chris the dad, Chris the business owner, chats over coffees. And that's when I think you really realise that hey, this is the real deal and this is the place to be. This is going to have an impact on your life your relationships, you're going to earn a stack load more money, and you're going to have a bigger impact on the world.
Chris is amazing at what he does. I mean, he will give you that system, that process, even to the point where he will give you the messaging or a template that puts out, has such a quick response for people, gets people back into your business, having a conversation. And I just found the biggest thing was the guidance around some of these little steps.
Now I get to work from home, support my wife, and actually do the work that I love because I'm helping other people and impacting their lives, whilst having the freedom to be able to live life on my terms.
If you've been struggling for a long time to get the results you've been looking for, then it's time to put your ego down and hire a coach and let him take you through the proven process. And Chris is the man to do that.
I was a bit skeptical about it at the start. I'm so happy I did. I have times 5 my weekly income because I am able to now work only 8 hours, but more efficiently and more effectively. You have to think about your future here. If you're feeling a little bit skeptical about it, just think to yourself, why not have financial freedom now? I wish I did it sooner, trust me. Do it and you will not regret it.